Hello, and welcome to the Mary Houlihan Show.
Fascism in America. Hello.
I hate Trump, you love Trump, blah, blah, blah. We need to stop.
Who the fuck was that guy?
I think we have to sue people more. What do you think about this?
That's crazy. Come on. We bash the hell out of the corporate Democrats.
Damn.
Yeah. Let go of the careerism. The game has changed. There is MAGA fascism rolling in. Trump is ushering in a wave of MAGA fascism.
Hello, and welcome to the Mary Houlihan Show. Today we are joined by comedian John F. O'Donnell. Woo! Wow.
Thank you, Mary. I'm so stoked to be here.
Thank you for coming.
I'm a big fan of the Mary Houlihan Show.
Oh my God, I'm a big fan of you.
Oh, mutual fan club.
John, what is NSPM 7?
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, duh.
Okay, NSPM 7, aka National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, aka the Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence Directive, if you want to be nasty about it, is something that President Trump signed last September. It's not a law, but it's a directive for all law enforcement agencies led by the FBI and intelligence agencies to follow in order to identify, wait for it, domestic terrorists and the indicators of being a domestic terrorist. And this is real, it's quite broad: anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for overthrow of the United States government, extremism on race, extremism on migration, extremism on gender, hostility towards traditional American values on family, religion, and morality. Basically, my entire personality.
Yeah. What the hell? Okay, so it's like don't be gay, don't be Jewish or Muslim or Hindu or Sikh or anything.
It's highly unconstitutional, but it's not like this administration cares about the Constitution. Basically, anybody who is not down with MAGA fascism is now a domestic terrorist.
Normal stuff.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Yeah. Yes, and it's quite unsettling. It's quite scary. However, part of me is like, okay, maybe this will bring a lot of people together, because if we're all DTs, nobody's a DT.
Yeah.
And I think they've overplayed their hand, and they certainly do not have enough infrastructure in place to enforce this yet. So we really got to get organized. We get mobilized. If ICE murders somebody, we show up in the streets for that. And then we go home. We have to get organized,
Yeah. Damn.
And I was quoting right there Kwame Ture, who he passed away. He used to be Stokely Carmichael, who was like a big civil rights leader who was in SNCC, this organization. They came up with the phrase during Vietnam, "Hell no, we won't go," which broke the draft. Hello. And Stokely Carmichael came up with the phrase Black Power. And then he changed his name to Kwame Ture and moved to Africa and became a Pan-Africanist revolutionary. And I've been listening to his lectures, trying to see how I can apply these Pan-Africanist revolutionary principles to our struggle to push back against MAGA fascism, like I'm sure everybody's been doing.
Of course. Duh. Hello. Well, yeah, we do all need to get on board. We need to stop left versus right. I hate Trump, you love Trump, blah, blah, blah. We need to stop. Stop.
No, you're right, because here's the thing. Right now, they're going after anything left-wing as terrorist.
Yeah.
But the next move after that is anything that's not down with MAGA, that is conservative, that's going to be, attempted to be purged as well. So we really got to just get on the same page here about this stuff.
Yeah, so if you're someone you think lefties are so annoying, you don't like them, but you love Candace and you love Tucker, well, that's not MAGA. So
yeah, exactly. And also, we have to realize that the whole culture war divide that makes us hate left and right, that is an orchestrated thing largely in order to keep us divided. It's the divide and conquer tactic that the ruling class has done for centuries.
Yes.
So if we get hung up on whatever thing emotionally dysregulates us about the culture war, it's a
Yeah.
big distraction from, fascism in America. Hello. It's not like, I know it's hard for regular people to internalize that this is real
Yeah.
because we would never do anything like this.
Mhm.
We're just trying to get by. We're genuinely kind to each other. We're not hell-bent on world domination and sociopathic and psychopathic. Those are very advantageous qualities to have in this capitalist system.
Yeah.
It can really get you to the top. But
Mhm.
we have to realize that National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, it's not the only thing. I mean, there was an executive order labeling Antifa a domestic terrorist group. Antifa is not an organized group in any capacity. There's no, hierarchical thing, but it's just a label that can be thrown on anybody,
Yes.
you know?
And so this is on the books now. Technically, I guess a cop or a FBI agent could detain either one of us or most people we know.
For being awesome. Well,
Yes, for being awesome.
you're telling me little Johnny O'Donnell's a domestic terrorist?
Come
Come
on.
on, that's crazy. Come on, you tell me little Johnny O'Donnell's a domestic terrorist? It's so laughable on its face. It's so absurd.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's being used as the framework to, drop draconian sentences on people. I mean, anti-ICE protesters in Minnesota and Texas have gotten draconian, crazy long
Yes.
prison sentences, and NSPM 7 was specifically mentioned in that situation. And like one guy got 30 years for handing out zines. He wasn't even at the protest.
Exactly.
Another guy in Texas, a former a U.S. Marine Corps reservist, got 100 years because he shot a police officer in the shoulder, wounded him, did not kill him. 100 years. And my thing that I say is, and people say I don't support the troops. Sick burn.
But it's true. So you have become interested in About Face Veterans Against Fascism because we do have to work together with veterans. To all the snobs out there who don't want to work with veterans, get over it. Get over it.
Oh, you better get over it real quick.
Yeah.
There,
Also, veterans, I like talking to veterans and like they've served. They've been in the Middle East. They see what happens. They have firsthand experience going, "Hey, wait a second. We're not actually helping anyone. And we're only here because this bank and that weapons company want us to be here." They are great allies, and you might be propagandized to not want to hang out with them.
Absolutely. Also, yeah, there's a lot there. You're absolutely right. No, there's a lot there. This is the thing. It's like this group, About Face, Veterans Against War, and then under the umbrella of that is also About Face, Veterans Against Fascism.
Hmm.
It's all people who've enlisted from September 11th forward,
Hmm.
and they basically want to actually serve the people, actually uphold the Constitution,
Hmm.
and they want to, protect and serve folks and push back against the authoritarianism and the fascism that is happening in our country. And I just I want to throw comedy fundraisers for them. I want to support them however I can because I want them to think that I'm cool, so they'll protect me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's a great idea. I like that.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think they just in July 4th they went to Philadelphia and they all met up for an event, and there were hundreds upon hundreds of them there from a coalition of organizations. And it was the largest gathering of that of that modality of it was the largest gathering of veterans in that way since Vietnam. So, there's hundreds of billions of dollars being given to these ICE paratrooper,
Mhm.
folks. That's a crazy thing to say. These monsters,
Mhm.
these anti-American freaks,
Mhm.
actually.
Mhm.
And there's some real, actually, American folks that were like, oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, after 9/11, I thought that, the terrorists hated our freedom. So I went over there. Oh, I kind of realized that we were just enriching the military industrial complex and the oil companies and stuff like that. I got fucked with. Oh, and then I came back, and then, on a technicality, they robbed me of all my benefits and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people that know. And don't you think we should maybe ally with some folks that, have some of the skill sets that they may have? I think that might be a good idea.
I mean, I don't carry myself.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write some killer jokes in order to get out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's I still have optimism. I really, really do. It's like,
Yes, tell me about that.
okay, I think they've overplayed their hand. I think that we need to have optimism, or you can't even get out of bed.
Mhm,
You know, um, I think that a lot of people are seeing through a lot of the propaganda.
mhm. I think
It's
so, yeah.
right. It's certainly going to be uh, a fight. But ultimately, if we can create a better party, so to speak, than their shitty white nationalist party,
Mhm.
if we can show how much cooler it is to, not be a white nationalist in 2026 and instead really actually have the rise of a real left in America, not, blue MAGA light corporate Democrats who would rather a fascist be in power than actually support a real leftist because the fascists will protect their capital.
Yeah.
That's why in 2016 the DNC cut the Bernie Sanders campaign off at the knees. They rigged that primary,
Mhm.
and then Hillary Clinton ended up losing to Donald Trump, and Bernie absolutely would have won that election. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that. I'm sorry, little doubt about that. And I mean, but this is the thing. But the establishment Democrats have been like a cudgel. They've been like this thing. They've been like, oh, just vote for this legislator of two evil forever. But they actually throttle real leftism from rising.
Yeah.
But it's very clear they're not up to the task of taking on MAGA fascism because they don't want to. They don't want to. You
There
know.
were, all of those counties that went for Obama twice and then went for Trump, and a lot of them, they, picked Bernie in the primary in 2016, and, yeah, it just seems, like, obvious. I think a lot of, like, blue MAGA, liberal I hate, like, talking about this because I know that they'll get offended and to not listen, and I want them to listen and, hear this.
Maybe blue MAGA and maybe like MAGA light is like not good phrasing. I mean, I didn't come up with it. I just heard it and thought it was kind of cool.
I just feel like
Is it
they
maybe
should be able to understand, yes, there's, racist people out there, yes, there's bad people out there, there's deplorable people out there, quote,
mm,
unquote, and they vote for Trump. Uh, the majority of people in the country really don't follow politics like that, really don't watch any news at all. They find news and politics boring and annoying altogether. They don't pay attention. They vote for people who they go, oh, this person sounds like they want to do something new. My life right now isn't working. This person's saying they want to do something new. So that's why so many people voted for Obama twice and then voted for Trump because they said, Hillary Clinton, what?
well,
Isn't she like married to this guy who was like impeached for having blowjobs and shit? This person sounds corrupt.
yeah, it's more than that. I mean, if we want to do it, I mean, the Clinton administration passed NAFTA.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
that gutted
This
the
uh
working class.
this woman is from a family that sent all of the jobs in my town overseas. Why would I vote for her?
Exactly.
And like I just feel like so many
And
liberal pundit class type people, they don't want to see that. And they just want to say, "Oh, these people are so stupid. They don't know what's good for them." And it's like, why don't you just like listen to like what's they have legitimate complaints about how the country is going. Shouldn't you want to address those complaints?
or they just drop the labels of racist and sexist.
I
Do
know.
you think maybe black people in America didn't vote for Hillary Clinton because the Clinton administration passed the crime bill that led and increased and exploded mass incarceration that disproportionately affected black people and brown people. You think maybe it had something to do with that? You think it maybe had something to do with Hillary Clinton not passively, but as the first lady actively championing that bill in front of Congress, calling black people super predators.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they're racist.
Yeah.
It's absurd,
Mhm.
and there's no time for it.
I
They're going to
know.
give us Gavin Newsom, okay? They're going to try to throw Gavin Newsom at us, and they're going to guilt trip us if we don't vote for him. He literally is trying to block in California a one-time tax on billionaires
Yeah.
that would fund healthcare and education.
And this
Okay, and
this
this
would
is the
be
guy
so politically popular. Why not vote for
because
it?
he's a corporate Democrat.
Yes, exactly.
And he's
Yes.
beholden to corporate interests. You can't be beholden to corporate interests and care about the regular folks of the country at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. But it's very clear that he's going to be in the mix, you know? And
Mhm.
it's like you heard it here first, you know? And honestly, I'll be honest with you. Two things. Like I read about that because of the Lever newsletter
Mhm.
and the Lever Time podcast.
Mhm.
That's like it's a good news outlet. But I'm I'm tired of this lesser of two evil because it leads to greater evil.
Yeah. We should vote for people who want to help us.
We should vote for people that want to help us. Like we should vote for and know about Shyama Sawant, who's running for Congress in Seattle. It's Kshama with a silent K, KS. She's running as a revolutionary socialist,
Mhm.
and she's running for Congress against a guy named Adam Smith who takes a ton of AIPAC money.
Mhm.
He's been in Congress for decades. And she, in 2013, was elected to the Seattle City Council, the first socialist elected in Washington State in 100 years. She won the fight for $15 minimum
Mhm.
wage.
Mhm.
She got a special tax on Amazon. She's done a ton of stuff for worker and tenant rights. Now, cut back to 2016, she started a campaign called the Movement for Bernie, which was pushing for Bernie to run as an independent through November, not endorse Hillary, and not
Mhm.
even to
Mhm.
win, but to just legitimize a third party because
Mm.
he had the funding infrastructure in place, which is the hardest thing to achieve. She even said, "Don't put your name on the ballot in battleground states, so you won't be a spoiler," which ended up not even mattering because Hillary didn't even win.
Yeah.
But Bernie didn't do that. Instead, he acted as a sheepdog who ushered everybody into the corporate Democratic Party to vote for Hillary Clinton, and then he did it again for Joe Biden the next time around. And that was and he could have done that, and he didn't do it. And I think that's something that's important to know about. But she was totally right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting. Right now we're in this moment where DSA now has so many members across the country and they do entryism. They run as Democrats. Um and it's working. So I'm like, okay, if it's working, let's keep doing this. But I do see people sometimes talk about um no, let's not do this. Let's make a third party. Or you hear corporate Democrats say, make your own party. Don't run as a Democrat. I guess I'm curious, like 20 years from now, when we look back, what will we think of this? Will this have been the right choice for these people to run as Democrats, or should they have gone third party?
I honestly think at this point there's a lot of limitations to electoralism. We're not voting ourselves out of the fascism,
Right. Yep.
okay? But I think it's all hands on deck. Let's go.
Hmm.
DSA, entryism, go for
Yeah.
it. Third parties that are not corporate, go for it.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff.
Whatever
It's like
makes sense where you
whatever
live.
makes sense
Yeah.
where you live. Let's keep the most worst people out
Yeah.
and do that. But meanwhile, set up parallel structures, organize,
Hmm.
and also it's a sort of thing with like the electoralism. It's possible that these benefits we get around the edges with DSA, all of that can be absorbed into
Hmm.
the Democratic Party. Like there's a reason Kamala Harris is now saying she wants to meet with Zoran Mamdani.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
Hmm.
want to co-opt it.
Hmm.
So that's something to be wary of.
Hmm.
And then also splintering of the left. Like Shama Sawant is not getting platformed by some of the big DSA
Exactly.
podcasters or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, I have some friends who have ran third party, and there's one, uh, the Congress district that I grew up in. Josh Gottheimer is the congressman. He's so horrible. He's such like so racist against Arabs and Muslims. It's honestly insane if more people knew that this like it's really crazy how it's not like how he's not nationally known for being so racist. Anyways, no one challenged him in the primary. Now there's this guy named Adam Rueda who's running against him third party, and I just feel like he has no chance, to be honest. It makes me sad. And, I've been living in LA the past year, so I met with a lot of people that were running for office. And, yeah, I have, my friend Ida Ashuri, she ran, with the Peace and Freedom Party, and she did get a lot of votes, but, I think um, her race looked more like a protest vote or yeah, it just didn't seem, like, viable that you could win as a third party, and of course, the media outlets are not going to talk to you other than, weirdo podcasts. Um, I get so annoyed by the Pod Save America guys. I know they're, like, centrist, like, they don't wanna talk to lefty people, but I feel like you're political podcasters that are based in Los Angeles and you don't talk to anyone running for office other than Nithya Raman, she's the furthest left person you'll talk to. There's all these people running for Congress where you live, why aren't you inviting them on the show?
Those guys should be ashamed of themselves.
They should.
That's it. Done.
Yeah.
Pod Save America sucks.
Yes. So you worked at Redacted Tonight,
I did.
which was, it's for people who haven't seen it, it's kind of like The Daily Show, but maybe I was telling my mom this morning who I was interviewing and telling her about all of them. So I said, "Oh, yeah, he worked on this show called Redacted Tonight. It's like The Daily Show, but with Democracy Now! Politics." Would you say that's a good way of describing it?
Ooh, I kind of like that, but I would say it's a radical leftist political satire show.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, like for example, I was on the show from 2014 to 2019.
Mhm.
So like, it was like during that time and that primary between Bernie and Hillary, we would be more aligned with Bernie, while
Yes.
every other show was more in the
Yes.
tank for Hillary. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and the popularity of Redacted Tonight during that primary was massive.
Mhm.
It was really, really a wild, interesting time and experience. And I'm so proud of everything I did on that show. I did over 220 segments for that show. And like I was saying, we're talking about the Veterans Against Fascism, about face. Me and Lee Camp was the host. I was one of the correspondents, uh, one of the original correspondents. And we did a segment in 2017 about that organization when at the time it was called uh, Iraq Veterans Against the War. They've
Mhm.
since rebranded and broadened. But it basically, in the intro to it, Lee says, like, yeah, they just went to, Fort Hood for this training program in nonviolent tactics in order to know how to do scouting and reconnaissance and like a rapid response, and also in order to help protesters who are protesting oil pipelines or ICE raids or um or white supremacy emboldened by Trump. This was in 2017. We did that. That was the sort of work we were
Right.
doing on Redacted Tonight, and the
Mhm.
show had a cult following for sure. But the work that we did, some of the best political satire. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what? Like right now, like there just came out with like a like 20 like the 10 years later. There's like a Lever Time podcast about how like that the DNC robbed Bernie of that primary. On Redacted Tonight, we covered each one of those issues in real time as they were happening, you know? And I'll
Sure.
be honest, like, did we gave no quarter to the Republicans or Trump or any of that, villainous nonsense, but
Mhm.
also we bashed the hell out of the corporate Democrats relentlessly and intentionally because they were just being corporate whores and they were
Yeah.
undermining democracy at every turn. And I think that in the long run, the long haul of it, it's good because these corporate Democrats need to fall so a real left can rise. And did things have to get so bad with this death and destruction and all of this MAGA nonsense, this
Mhm.
white nationalism and this freak show fascism in America in 2026? Maybe so. But you know, maybe it had to go this way.
So for people who don't know, how the primary was rigged, could you try to explain that? I think a lot of people, they're like, "Yeah, I heard about that," or like, sometimes I'll see online people argue, "The DNC rigged it," and then people will say, "The DNC doesn't have the power to do that, blah, blah, blah." So what actually happens there? What's the evidence that it was rigged?
Oh, honestly, there's a lot that went into it.
Yes.
I don't know offhand all of it. What I will say is that
And
I
some
think
of it is the media, of course, like who they're choosing to talk about and how they're choosing to talk about crazy Bernie Sanders.
one thing that the media did was that they, even though the super delegates were not pledged yet, they were doing the assumption of like her getting these super or no,
Yeah.
the super delegates that pledged but didn't actually do it yet. So they would
Mhm.
always show those numbers. So it would look
Right.
like he was getting demolished.
Mhm.
You know, they limited the number of debates. They had she had this massively corrupt funding infrastructure that was really bending the limits of campaign finance laws.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean they did all sorts of dirty tricks. They the DNC. They came up with like the I think or maybe it's the Hillary campaign, the whole like Bernie bro narrative,
Yes.
you know?
Mhm.
There was like some leaked emails that showed that they like paid some woman who was the victim of a gunshot wound to say that Bernie was bad on like gun control. Like all these dirty tricks came out with those like
Mhm.
leaked emails, like right leading up to it, you know? And honestly, I haven't like thought about all of the specifics of it in a while, but
Mhm.
there is like there's just a ton of stuff.
Yeah. Damn.
We would have had Bernie Sanders. That would and I'll tell you this. I was at the DNC, the Democratic
Mhm.
National Convention in Philadelphia in 2016 at the peak of Redacted Tonight's popularity.
Mhm.
It was wild because that was our demographic there. There were so many people protesting outside the DNC, all these Bernie supporters, because of how, they believed that primary was rigged.
Yeah.
Um, and um, And and I remember how much optimism there was though. They were like, "Yeah, we know Bernie's going to endorse Hillary, but we started there's the Our Revolution movement. We started the brand new Congress movement where we're going to get a whole new Congress elected, in every state. There was all sorts of grassroots people who were politically engaged and activated and they were all there and it
Mhm.
was like, "Oh wow, it's like okay, yeah, Bernie's just one person, you know what I mean? It's like, but this whole movement can happen. But it just it didn't, but it just it I guess it just didn't. It was guess it was kind of like a little before its time or something like that.
Yeah. Or I guess, president is just a hard thing to run for, I think. I guess it's easier to get in, um, at Congress and at, assembly level and things like that.
You know what I think we got to do? We
Hmm.
have to have a national ballot initiative blitz where we figure out, we make some sort of website that shows in every, state, city, whatever, what the criterion are for getting bills on ballots.
Mhm.
And we come up with a whole bunch of ballot initiatives and push back, try to get them passed. And we use social media to popularize it. And we just do a huge blitz of that so they can't, undermine and get all of them not to be passed. They can't pour money in fast enough. Like, for example, Montana is trying to pass a bill. They got it on the ballot, I believe, that would, would push back against Citizens United
Mm.
because money in politics, because corporations are endowed with their powers by at the state level. That's where the charter comes from. It's a state
Mhm.
thing. So you can be like, okay, you want to be incorporated in this state, fine. But one of the things you do not have the power to do is put money into elections. And so that's one way of getting around it that they're working on. There's Hawaii's doing something, Colorado's doing something. This is a way to bypass having to wait for a constitutional
Yes,
amendment.
exactly.
So I
Mhm.
think it's like, you know what? DSA, go for it. Like revolutionary socialists, go for it. Green Party, go for it. Do all the electoralism. Anybody that's just not a corporate whore,
Yeah.
go for it. Do ballot initiative blitz, Support veterans against fascism. Let's create some parallel structures here. Let's organize, you know?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like our only power right now. Like, sometimes I think politicians will even say, well, we need to overturn Citizens United. And they're kind of just saying it to pay us lip service because they know that they can't overturn it anytime soon and they don't want to, a lot of them. And so, literally, the only recourse we have is electing these people who don't take corporate donations, who in theory will vote on their conscience or on
Mm.
what their constituents actually want. And the more of them get in there, then it will be there'll be political will to overturn Citizens United. I think we have to sue people more. What do you think about this?
What do you mean?
um, I was talking to someone about the Paramount merger, the Paramount Warner Brothers merger, and they were saying, like, our best bet, I guess, with every issue, there's different levers of power we can use. And for that particular one, there just needs to be like lawsuits about like antitrust violations. And that's how the merger will be blocked because a lot of us signing petitions and saying, hey, we don't want that. They're like, who fucking cares? We'll do whatever
Mhm.
we want.
Well, yeah, I agree. But,
So,
like one good thing under the Biden administration was that woman, Lena Khan, who
yes.
was, in like the antitrust thing. And she was pushing for some antitrust stuff. But I agree. Yeah, we got to do that too, for sure. But also,
Mhm.
I'm glad you brought up,
Like, can we, like, sue, um, PACs? Can we sue AIPAC? Can we sue these types of things? I don't know. I literally was on, like, the Attorney General of New Jersey website this week being like, "How do I sue this
how do I
congressperson?"
sue APAC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it possible? Is there
It's a
as
lot of
someone with,
money.
like, no
Well, I mean,
legal
I
knowledge.
I think we do that too, but I think
Yeah.
it's might be cost prohibitive. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you get a good one,
Yeah.
then, ACLU and nonprofits might help you out.
Yeah,
If you
for
get a
sure.
really good
You know what it is? We need like also what I want to say is because you brought up Paramount and Hollywood and entertainment
Mhm.
industry, all entertainers, okay, especially comedians, our comedian community, for the love of fuck, let go of the careerism. It's done. The game has changed. There is MAGA fascism rolling in. Don't do that anymore. Instead, let's all get on the same page. Let's put out some revolutionary comedic content.
Yeah.
You guys, some people have very, very, large platforms that are amplified. Do some good stuff. And some people are for sure. But I really feel like it could be really fun for us all to collaboratively get together and just be like, oh, our starting point is we're pushing back against a wave of fascism happening in our country. NSPM 7 is real.
Mhm.
Their framework for law enforcement is that anything lefty, whatever that means, anything against the fascism is domestic terrorism. So we should look at it as like, okay, work that we're doing is pushing back against that. That's our fucking
Yeah.
job. And you know what? It might be like scary. You're going to be on the list. You know what I mean?
You're
You're
on
already
it
on the list.
already.
Everybody's on the list.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be ashamed of yourself if you weren't
I
on the list?
know.
I saw this meme. They were saying
Yeah.
like the meme was saying like all of my heroes are on the CIA list. All of your heroes are on the Epstein list. It's like, come on. So I really think we gotta get our house in order here. We gotta let go of the bullshit. And
Mhm.
yes, am I still upset that I didn't get booked to do Live at Gotham season 2 on Comedy Central? If I got that stand-up showcase set, would this entire timeline have shifted? Yeah, probably. But guess what? This is where we're at.
Yeah, I agree. I wish more like famous people would speak up, blah 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 blah. I've reached out to a bunch of them. A lot of them have made it clear we don't want to do that. We just want money.
Well, guess what?
But a nice enough amount of people go, "Yes, sign me up." And so that's what matters.
Well, this is the thing. It's now it's like they're coming for you. So
Yeah.
get your shit together, you know?
Yeah.
So because it's like they do not have the infrastructure yet to do all this shit. You know what I mean? But they're working on it. So we got to
Mhm.
push back. We got to be organized, you know? It's
Yeah.
like come on. I mean, I had a killer audition, you know? I had a killer set, you know? People were saying it was one of the best auditions of the whole entire like everybody that got auditioned in New York for that year. I mean, this
Uh-huh.
was what? This was 2007, you know? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, what the hell?
Just kidding. I just like the idea of like petty grievances. Like I have this bit where I go like this next piece is called complaining about your comedy career while your country has been actively supporting a genocide. Yeah, sure, Israel is ethnically cleansing Gaza and now Lebanon using billions in US military aid. But why can't I get booked in Bloomington, Indiana? You know what I mean?
I do know
And
what
then I
you
have
mean.
another part where I go, this next piece is called Complaining About Your Comedy Career While Donald Trump is the President of Your Country. Yeah, sure, Donald Trump is ushering in a wave of MAGA fascism and using ICE to break up families and kill people, and is terrified of the Epstein files because he's a pedo, and went to war with Iran at the behest of Israel, and did a regime change in Venezuela, and has a complete energy embargo against Cuba. But why am I so bad at Instagram? I'm bad at Instagram.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I
It's
do know
like
what you mean.
it's absurd at this point, Mary.
Yes, yeah, these are nonsense concerns. Um, well, so yes, you want people to stop being so careerist and to use the comedy for good and use the comedy to, do messaging, do propaganda, basically.
Sure, propaganda for
Propag
love. Love propaganda.
Yes,
Propaganda for peace.
propaganda is a bad word for some reason. It basically just means media that gets across a certain message. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a neutral word. I think everyone has different interests and priorities. I would freaking love it if, like, you and Anders and Naomi and everyone that worked at Redacted Tonight, uh, basically just like started doing it.
Well, I'm
You
starting
said that
something.
you were,
I'm
yeah.
working on something.
Tell
I'm
me.
working on a show. It's like in the same vein as Redacted Tonight or YouTube, but it's like kind of like my sensibility of it
Hmm.
that I would host called Radical Analysis, which is a reference to this great political thinker, writer, lecturer who passed away in the past year, Michael Parenti. And he talks about how some people have like, you know, conservative worldview, others have a liberal critique, but that needs to be turned into radical analysis. So
Hmm.
I thought that sounded pretty cool.
Hmm.
So the show's called Radical Analysis. And yeah, and it's basically going to be like, honestly, it's I'm gonna look at things, you know, just this is my it's my big fuck you to NSPM7. How about
Hmm.
that? We're all domestic terrorists, really? Mike Johnson just said $350 billion is gonna be spent to fight communism domestically. They're bringing back McCarthyism
Yeah.
and the Red Scare. So
Hmm.
guess what? This show, I found this flag online. It's a mashup of the United States of America flag and the USSR with the hammer and sickle, and it's
Hmm.
got a whole bunch of stars around it. That's my fucking backdrop.
Hmm.
Okay. And basically in the show, I'm like, hello, I'm Jonathan O'Donnell. Welcome to Radical Analysis. I'm a Marxist who's never read Marx. Typical.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I know in my bones that he's right. I'm not going to read Das Kapital. It's dense. Plus, my brain is broken from being able to read because of my smartphone. Actually, real quick, let's look up an AI summary of the Communist Manifesto. Kidding, I'm kidding. Could you imagine? Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels would be spinning in their collective grave. They share a grave because they're communists. Don't quote me on that. So the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, have been getting really popular. So I've decided to go full commie because being left of the left makes me feel special and cool. So that's the vibe.
I like it. I'm into it. Do you use TikTok?
I haven't really used it since since like the Zionist sale to Larry
Mhm.
Ellison and the fucking Oracle thing. By the way, Larry Ellison of Oracle is the largest like private funder of the IDF, and
Yes.
he owns
Paramount,
TikTok. Yeah,
CBS.
so not really, but I could. Yeah, I could use
I like using it, like
it. Okay.
not even as, like, a person who makes videos. I really, just like watching it for entertainment and something I noticed a lot, the past bunch of years is, like, I see so many, like, random comedy makers. I don't know if they consider themselves comedians or what, who make political stuff, and it does really well because they do a really good job saying, "Hey, here's, like, a thing that the media is not covering for some reason, and I'll talk about it in a funny way." And I see those people, get popular, their stuff is funny, and I was kind of noticing, like, I see this a lot on TikTok, and I don't see it a lot on Instagram, and obviously it's because, they're owned by different people. Meta is owned by people who want you to, be sad and buy stuff.
Mm,
And I also kind of noticed, like, on Instagram, I follow a lot of people that, I know professionally, so I think that also, like, colors my algorithm to be, people being kind of careful or sort of just like, "Hey guys, check out this thing I made," but they don't
sure,
wanna share their
sure.
political beliefs or things that are controversial, whereas I go on TikTok and it's just funny people really letting it rip, just being like, people who are communists or
Mm.
socialists
My feed
or
on Instagram is a lot of like leftist stuff.
yeah.
Mine's being curated. It's like, it's all sorts of, very leftist stuff
Mhm.
and then some comedy. I actually am learning a lot through my Instagram feed.
Mhm.
I use it. It can be, if you curate it right, it actually can be used as a, like a
News
radical
source, yeah.
news source,
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
But also like I think I want to stay pretty underground, Mary.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I would like a certain level of popularity. I would love to be able to go do a stand-up show and have some people come out to see me. I would
Yeah.
love that. But like I like the idea of, doing my little comedy revolutionary stuff and then just down the line when we get these fuckers, they're like, "Who the fuck was that guy?"
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like
Because
that.
I've been kicking the evil empire in the throat with hard-hitting political satire for a long fucking time, number 1. Number 2, I've also done a lot of mental health advocacy comedy work for many years using comedy to
Mhm.
destigmatize mental illness way before it became cool. Hello!
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you
And
mean.
people know who know. People know JFOD who know JFOD. That's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Yes. Well, I guess, I wasn't necessarily saying you need to become a TikToker with millions and millions of fans, but I guess I was just, kind of realizing, like, oh, you should lean into what you think is funny and what you believe and not, have your eyes so much on, like, what's working in Hollywood or what's working for my peers. If this is interesting to me, but my peers will think it's weird, that's fine. I should do it if it's because, the right people will find it type of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something that you're doing. Like, I mean, I love the comedy that you're doing. I love the way that you're doing it, and it is like, yeah, you're doing things on your terms, and you're doing it very genuinely and honestly, and it's very clear that you give a fuck, and that's fucking beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, everything will work out in the end. What do you think about that?
I'm an eternal optimist. We
Yeah.
are, and here's the thing. Here's the quote: "We don't fight fascism because we think we're going to win. We fight fascism because it's fashion."
Yeah, duh.
That's it. And it's just a good way to pass the time.
It's true.
I think Chris Hedges said that. I'm not sure, but about the fascism thing. But yeah,
I
what
would
else are you gonna do?
yeah.
Not do it? It's fun. It's actually kind of
Yeah.
fun.
It is fun. I yeah.
I yesterday I got to listen to the song Zimbabwe by Bob Marley off the Survival album 3 times in a row.
There you
It's
go.
awesome. And he's got this line where he goes like, "Soon we'll find out who be the real revolutionaries, 'cause I don't want my people to be tricked by mercenaries, brother." It's
Wow.
so
Yeah.
good. That is like a Pan-Africanist album. It's really amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's actually, and it's very freeing for your creativity as
Yeah.
well, because there's
Mhm.
a lot of passion behind it. Uh, And also when you really learn about this stuff, you actually get less overwhelmed because you
That's how
realize
I feel,
like there's a
yeah.
lot of holes in their plan here, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I have, some friends who I think are overwhelmed and just, like, sad about this stuff. I guess I want them to understand that, like, maybe just, like, get your news from somewhere else because not every single news source is going to try to dysregulate you and make you feel like the world's ending and blah like,
You're right.
there's we mentioned The Lever, also, Ken Klippenstein, who I love and who loves your work.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Zateo, Democracy Now! There's so many that tell you what's happening. They tell you, "Hey, this unjust thing is happening." And unlike cable news that says, "Can you believe this is happening? We should be freaking out." They say, "Hey, this thing is happening. These people are organizing against it. If you want to get involved, you could get involved with them or do this or that." And that makes you feel empowered and like you can fight back. And yeah, I would like more people to think of it that way or think
abs-
about being civically engaged as just, like, a thing you do.
Absolutely. I mean, we're a deeply propagandized to society.
Yeah.
Corporate media across the left-right spectrum is bad for your health.
Yeah.
You got to just avoid it like a plague. They're professional liars. They're the mouthpiece of the corporate class, of the ruling class. They're
Yes.
propagandists in the worst way.
They tell you to hate half of your country.
Yeah, there's a reason that the left and right corporate
Yeah.
media, not even the left, the liberal and conservative corporate
Mhm.
media outlets cover the same stories
Yes.
every fucking day from diametrically opposed perspectives.
Trump is
Hello?
bad, Trump is good.
Yeah.
ICE is bad, ICE is
Yeah.
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 Ah,
But I mean, it's like,
yeah, I would love my big goal, which I don't think I'm doing it yet, but I'm working up to it. I would love to deprogram people. I think the people who watch my stuff tend to think like me. I would love to break through to people who maybe at first are like, ew, she's so lefty and annoying. But then they hear what I'm saying and then they go, oh, okay, she's explaining it to me. I thought it was this other thing, but she's showing me that ICE detention centers do affect me and someone is getting rich off of me, even if I don't like immigrants. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, it's like maybe there can be like a return to environmental sanity that can work across the left right divide based around these data centers,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I
Because
think
I
so.
honestly think that the branding of catastrophic climate change is a non-starter because 50% of the country doesn't believe it, and then
Yeah.
the
So they
other
think you're
50%,
overreacting, blah, blah, blah.
and then the other 50%, or not all, but some think that it's too late, so they don't do anything. So what are we
Yeah.
doing here? It's just it's a terrible branding. Everybody should watch Planet of the Humans, by the way, by Michael Moore, executive produced, about the environment, about the greenwashing industry.
Oh, yeah.
Planet of the Humans on YouTube. Hello,
Oh, that
but
sounds good.
but but yeah, I think a
Yeah.
return to environmental sanity where people can agree, hey, maybe we shouldn't do mountaintop removal. Maybe we shouldn't cut the top off of mountains for coal. Maybe we can do better than that. Are
Yeah.
there some conservatives that might be into that? Yeah, probably. Are there some lefties and liberals that might be into that? Yeah, probably. Let's do that. Let's work towards moratoriums on data centers. Let's focus here if we actually care about the environment.
Yeah, I think we have to do that. I think if anyone ever says to you, ew, you shouldn't work with someone who voted for Trump, ignore them. Ignore them because you need to work with people who are different than you. You
And
have
also
to.
also, like, some people got, they got swindled, they got lied to by a con man,
Yeah.
okay? And they're remorseful for it.
Yeah.
So what are they, just they're non-entities who don't exist anymore?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and also it's like, it was like, at the time during that 2016 one at least, like, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, this massive corporate trade deal that was going to give away, essentially like sovereignty to multinational corporations. That basically, if like a country wanted to pass an environmental regulation or a workers' right law, it had to go to a tribunal that the corporations would be able to sue the people based on if it was going to inhibit their profits. So the Trans-Pacific Partnership, who was for it and who was against it? Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were for it. Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump were against it. Was Trump lying? Yes.
Yeah.
But was he against it or not? Was Hillary and Obama for it? Yes. Because they are corporate whores. Hello. So Donald Trump lied to a bunch of people a shit ton of times.
Oh my God.
And then in 2020, well, I guess then 2024, they ran, somewhat Biden, whose brain was liquefied and dripping out of his nostrils. And then they, without any sort of process, put in Kamala Harris, who's a deeply, deeply flawed candidate, who's a fucking cop.
We should have had a primary. If he was not in his right mind.
Yes.
To announce he was not running for re-election, someone should have done it for him and had a primary in time. A lot of people
and also
Kamala
wouldn't speak out about the genocide in Gaza.
I know.
And she's probably going to run again too. We're going to get Gavin Newsom up there, Kamala Harris, AOC is going to be in the mix, AOC had an opportunity some years back to force the vote for Medicare for all on the floor, and she didn't do it. Because she said it would have caused reputational harm. That is a red flag, dog.
Yeah.
She also voted for the Iron Dome. You know what I mean? So that's a red flag. So that is an example of, say, somebody from DSA getting absorbed into the machine. Do I think she's better on certain issues than those other ones? Of course. But these are the realities,
I do know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're out of time. I want to keep talking, but I can't because Connor will say that I owe him more money for the space.
We live in a capitalist system. This capitalist system, it hurts us. It really hurts us.
My final thoughts of the pod. I know this lady who doesn't like vaccines. I like vaccines myself. I get them all the time. This lady, she wanted to vote for RFK, and she ended up voting for Trump. I think it's crazy that she did that. But I know that she cares about the environment and she cares about food and pharmaceuticals and stuff. And if you are like this lady out there, if you're people like that, I really hope we can work together because I think we agree on so many things, even if we voted differently. John, final thought?
Final thought. In the last election, I voted for Claudia de la Cruz of the PSL, Party for Socialism and Liberation. I said that to my uncle. He goes, "Oh, you were the one." What an asshole. But funny. Anyway, I just saw this fucking thing that they've just labeled a whole bunch of organizations like lefty things terrorists. It's different from NSPM7. It has to do with Cuba or something like that. And a number of people got listed. And they listed Claudia de la Cruz. So the person I voted for president is now on this list. So basically it's like, guys, hello, wake up here. We got to get our shit together. We got to organize. And, they should have given me Live at Gotham season 2. We wouldn't be in this fucking
thing.
Please look up About Face, Veterans Against War, Veterans Against Fascism. They are on Instagram. Follow them on Instagram. Go to their website. I'm not sure the exact URL. I think it's aboutfaceveterans.org. Get involved. Support them however you can. Let's talk about how ridiculous it is. I just literally plugged a group that we have so much state violence that we need our own veterans to protect us in our country. And now I'm going to be like, I also have 2 stand-up specials on YouTube. There's Live at the Cobra Club. That's the new one. And also there's the Manic Depressive Chocolate Fountain Operator. So those are my 2 specials you can watch on YouTube.
I love it. Thank you for doing the show.
I've been wanting to do the show for a while. I asked to do the show months ago. I did because I love what you're doing. I'm so proud of you.
I love you. I think you're the best.
I love you too.
Bye.